Well, welcome. This is a lot of fun for me. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. You know, when I think about, I'm often asked a question, I want to start the class that way. People ask me, well, what does it take to be a really good pool player? Isn't that something burning? How to improve your game and all that? To me, the most important thing is just your passion and desire to become a better player. You think about how a lot of people will be just kind of satisfied with mediocrity and they just kind of go along and they're really not trying to get better or improve. Well, that's really a key. And then when I think about passion and desire to play the game, I've had it since I was like 5 or 6 years old. And now I am, fast forward to age 72, I still love the game, okay? And as long as you love the game and you want to improve, you're going to get better. That's really the key. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is you need to bury your ego a little bit. This game is tough. It's unbelievably challenging, okay? And I think of a lot of my friends and players over the years, they burned out because they were always worried about, well, I got to win this, I got to do this, I got to do that. But at the same time, you got to enjoy the process. Don't always look for the result to win and do this and that. If you really trust and have faith in the process of learning and you're pursuing it, that's really the most important thing. Because I think about, actually focusing on learning is so important. Like, you all have taken this class, right? You've taken the initiative to come here. That's a big part of getting better. Well, getting out of your comfort zone, doing something that expands your horizons, playing a tournament, watching a YouTube, coming to a class. These are all things that are going to help your game. Now you'll notice in my handout, I have a quote in here. Playing pool at a higher level requires the focus and dexterity of a brain surgeon. Now, I'm not trying to intimidate you by the complexity of this game, but I want you to just be patient and enjoy the process, okay? If you're not having fun in the class, I want you to let me know. Now, the format's going to be very simple. Each class, we're going to get together as a group, and then I'm going to do a little instruction. Then you're going to actually get a chance to apply it. Now, we do have a couple of bar boxes over here as well, so you actually have a choice. And I'll try to match you up in accordance with your skill level. Because I do have to say that it is absolutely impossible to get a class with people of all commensurate skill levels. So we do have quite a diversity here, and that's fine. Because what I'll do after the first class is I'll try to match you up, and I'll give drills that are appropriate for you as we progress. And I know this is a level 2 class, and we do have some tournament players, we have some league players, and we even have some beginners. But we're gonna get along fine. When you learn something new, this is real important. When you're learning something new, and some of you we're gonna uncover flaws in your game, your stroke, or maybe your setup. It's okay, all right? That's part of the process, okay? And there's a learning curve when you learn something new, right? The learning curve is when you're thinking about it and obsessing about it, you really can't perform at your highest level. That's why we do drills. That's why we practice. Because it's incredibly important that it becomes, what I might say, automatic. One of the things I'm going to teach you today is a pre-shot routine, okay? And to me, that's an incredible, important aspect of pool because it gets your body in the correct position. Guess what? If your body and eyes and head and everything is in the correct position, all I got to do is throw the cue at the cue ball and it's going to go in. But that's not so easy, is it? To get your body in the correct position. And that's where, you know, we want your pre-shot routine to help your shooting become a little more automatic. Now, your willingness to try new things, you know, that's really an important thing. And also keep in mind, this is a multi-level class. You know, I just want to emphasize that because I think it's important that we keep that in mind. Now, before we go on, it's really neat. You notice I got everybody a name tag. Let's just go around the room real quickly, and I would just like you to introduce yourself and let us know what specifically is maybe either your worst part of your pool game or the best part. I'll let you go positive or negative. Does that sound fair? All right. We'll start with Kathy.
I'm Kathy Wright, and I really need to learn how to bank
All right.
correctly.
So it's not your strong suit, right?
No.
Okay.
I'm lucky a lot.
All right. All right, good. Thank you. All right. Nyla.
My name is Nyla, and I'm still learning, although it is not my first class, and I think I don't see any positives in my game. I need to learn everything.
All right. Welcome, Nyla.
My name is George, and I'm kind of a newbie at this. What I like to do is just learn to put the cue where I'm aiming it on the.
All right. This first class is going to be real important for you. Okay. And we have somebody in the Bob.
Yeah, hi, I'm Bob Taylor. I play pool with a bunch of neighbors up at my home in Colorado. I'm waiting for my table to arrive here, so I haven't had a lot of opportunity to play. Strong points, I think I can read a table pretty well. The problem is getting the proper angles. It's probably a very common issue. I mean, it's hard for me.
You mean like different cut shots?
Yeah, it's,
different
yes,
angles?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
the cut shots,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, we're
Yeah,
going to
some
talk
of-
about a little bit about aiming today.
Right.
And you'll notice I have the white reinforcers on the table. So it's a great way to set up the same shot and learn how to aim it properly.
Good.
We'll do that.
Good. I really enjoy the game, though. I just need to
Good.
play more. So.
Good. All right, thanks. And Roy.
I'm Roy, and my weak part of the game is ball control. I know where the ball is going, but I can't grasp the speed that I need to address it.
And, you know, that's a huge deal because once you get your body in the correct position and you can hit the ball where you're aiming, the next thing is you got to be able to control the cue ball. And the secret of controlling the cue ball is the stun shot. I want you all to remember that. If you don't learn anything in this class, that is the most important shot of the learn. Thanks, Roy.
I'm Steve, and my problem is I overthink everything.
Oh.
Pretty simple.
All right.
Think wrong, you think wrong.
Let me just say a little thing about that because I think that's an affliction that a lot of people have, especially in league, when they're in the fishbowl under pressure kind of thing, and everybody's watching and they want to do real well. We sometimes tend to get up in our heads. You know, truly, when you're playing under pressure in a tense situation like that, the best thing to do is to go on autopilot. You already know what to do. It's about visualizing the shot, not so much knowing that my arm is here, it's at 90 degrees, loose grip. You know, you could go on and on. The more detailed you get about it, analyzing what you're doing, the worse you're going to play. That's for practice. When you're playing, you're playing. Okay. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ed. I overthink everything also. When I'm getting ready to shoot, all I'm thinking about is the stance,
Yeah.
the aim, try to remember all this stuff, and then the ball goes anywhere it wants to go, where you want it to go. That and trying to just be consistent.
Sure.
Do the same thing over and over, which is hard to do.
And just what you said there, being consistent, doing the same thing over and over again, that's why the pre-shot routine is important. How many of you watched Roger Federer serve?
Like a machine.
Or Stephen Curry shoot a free throw? Am I talking? I don't care if you're shooting darts, you know, playing pool, ping pong, basketball, golf. There's a pre-shot routine. And the ones that, the experts, the people who become proficient, are the ones that make their everyday normal shots routine. Because that's your comfort zone. Mike.
My name is Mike. And I need to overcome pretty much every flaw that everybody's mentioned so far. So they've already covered mine.
All right.
So I'm good.
All right. You just want to learn it all.
Learn it all.
You're a tabula rasa, blank slate.
I'm
right?
a blank slate. Oh, yeah, that's what Sherry says. Mostly up here. I'm completely blank.
No, I didn't mean it that way. I'll let you teach. Okay.
Hi, my name's Bill, and I'm just starting to play pool, so I have to learn everything.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, you're an everythinger.
I want matched up with Bill.
All right.
Oh, that's the place to be.
All right, sounds good. Steve.
I'm Steve. I have to work on knowing when and how to play safety.
Safety. Excellent. Okay, big part of the game. Steve is a league player, so he's learned from experience that if you don't know how to play good safeties, guess what? You're going to lose.
And
Right?
you can win first up here and go down to Phoenix. It's a political start.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Jim and Kelvin player.
Yeah. All right, Chuck.
Yeah, my name's Chuck. I just love to play pool, so I come try to find out more and more about it. That's all
All right.
it is.
Chuck's a veteran of this class. How many times have you taken this?
Everyone you've had here.
All right.
Wow.
All right, let's
That's awesome.
Thanks, Chuck.
Can you teach them how to play faster?
You're the one that play faster, not me.
And before we get to Sherry, I also want to mention that I'm only one person. We got a lot of students. So you know, we're going to be working as partners and working on helping each other a lot as much as we can as well. And Chuck is almost, I would say, you know, assistant instructor because he knows exactly what I teach. So, you know, he can help you as well. Sure.
My name is Sherry, and we've been playing since, I think, October, taking lessons with Pete since then, and my game's getting better. I'm just excited. So,
What's your favorite shot?
long shots.
Long shots. Oh, she likes a challenge.
No, I'd agree. Yeah. It's fun to see.
All right, let's get started with the actual lesson format. I'm going to set up a few shots here. And one thing I'm going to do during the course of the class, since we do have, you know, quite a few league players and things like that, at the end of my lesson, we're going to set up a scenario in 8-ball. And you as a group are going to figure out how to solve the scenario. In other words, what to do in this situation. And I think for you league players, that'll be extremely, you know, beneficial. All right, I'm going to set up a few shots here. I'm not going to actually shoot a ball for a while, though, because I want to talk a little bit about the pre-shot routine. Now, each one of us is going to have different quirks and different personal ways of doing a pre-shot routine. But in my mind, I've been watching pool for, you know, 60 some odd years. And the one thing secret that I think I've uncovered is the fact that all good players do three things when they're preparing to shoot. Okay. Now, when I talk about the pre-shot routine, it's something that's going to build confidence in you as a player and also allow you to have a consistent stroke because you're going to feel comfortable over the ball. How many times do you see people playing pool, they do this? They might have a shot like this, a straight-in shot, and they'll just walk up like this. moving around like that. How often are you going to make it if you get down on the shot without lining it up and aiming it? In other words, you want to do the hard work while you're standing up above the shot. Now, even as part of that process, pool is a non-tension sport. You gotta relax. And what is the best way to relax when you're playing pool?
Breathe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I watch a lot of my videos now, and I notice I'm always, what better way is there to focus your brain? Think about what you're taking a deep breath does. And all of a sudden, your cells in your body are full of oxygen. And you had that good posture to take a good breath and all that. So the first step, what I see all good players do, is some way of breathing and relaxing. It could be a deep breath. It could be walking around the table to loosen up. It could be stretching. I know Efren Reyes was real big, one of the greatest players of all time. He would always do this, you know, stretch his arms and like that. But find a way to loosen up. Because if your muscles are tense and you got a tense grip on the cue, you're gonna dog it. You're gonna, you know, that's a recipe for bad pool. So breathe and relax. My method is I'll grab a piece of chalk, walk around the table, and just loosen up. All right, the second thing is, while you're standing, step number 2 is visualize the entire shot. In other words, I'm visualizing the cue ball, pocketing the 12, and stopping dead so I can make the 5 ball next. All right? Now, I'm not thinking. I'm not trying to overthink it. I'm seeing it in my mind's eye. Because visualizing is much different than analyzing. And for a pool player, analyzing doesn't do a lot for you. Okay? You want to learn how to visualize it. Okay? Those are the 2. Breathe and relax, visualize. The third one is you gotta find the aim point. Okay? All right? And you do that while you're standing up above the shot. You don't get down on the shot and start moving around until you get it right. You want to find your aim point, which I see as the contact point here. And what I'll do from there is draw the line all the way back to my eyes. Your eyes are the key. And your eyes are the key while you're standing above the shot. Because now on this shot, I see my aim point, my target line drawn all the way back. And I don't want to get too close because I can see better here. You want to step into it, okay? But the key here is you'll notice if I have found my aim point. Now, if I move my head a little to the left, it's off. If I move it a little to the right, it's off. You trust your eyes. In other words, you want to find that aim point while you're standing up above the shot. Then as I step into the shot, I keep my eye on that aim point all the way down. And that's a key part of your pre-shot routine. I want you to practice this drill number 1 today. Just practice finding the aim point.
Don't you got to figure
Drawing
out which one of your eyes is the dominant eye first?
We're not going to go into that because you're keeping both eyes open. Trust your eyes. If you start analyzing your dominance of your eyes, you're going to get so confused and messed up. I promise you. But I'm right-eye dominant, and I've been through all that, but I don't really need to know which eye dominant I am because I could just look at the aim point on the 12 ball here. If I move here, I'm off. Move there, I'm off. Ah, dead center, I'm right on. And once I have that, as I step into the shot, chances are I'm going to be directly in that line. And that's drill number 1. I just want you to practice your pre-shot routine. Breathe and relax. Visualize the shot. Find the aim point. Draw the line all the way back. Step into the shot like that. You can even take a couple of warm-up strokes to make sure you're on. Now, when you're doing that, you're going to notice something interesting. When you get down on the shot, a lot of times you're going to be off to the left or off to the right. Don't shoot when you're like that. You want to stand up and repeat your pre-shot routine. Do it all over again. Because if you get down and you're improperly lined and you start moving around, chances are it's going to throw everything off. So, you know, it might sound a little bit basic, but just learning how to get correct alignment like that is incredibly important. I actually practice it still. I've been playing 60 years, and I'll sit there and just, 20 times get up and down like this. And I want you to have your partner on the other side of the table make sure that you're in line. And you can use these reinforcers. Okay? All right. Any questions so far? All right. Now, let's try it a little different now. This time, we're going to do drill number 2. And this time, we're actually going to shoot the cue ball. Again, I'll be practicing my pre-shot routine. Visualize the cue ball going into the pocket. Now, you'll notice, and everybody, we spared no expense. Everybody gets a coffee stirrer. And you notice it has a red line in the middle. And some of you have seen this before, but it's probably more important than you might realize. When I learned this, my game went for much better. Now you'll notice on this shot, where I'm shooting the cue ball into the center of the pocket, the center of the pocket is not way back here. The center of the pocket is always the center of the outer jaw from the points on the pocket like that. And the one thing I want you to notice, it's not so important on that shot, but let's say I'm shooting a ball from this direction. Notice what part of the pocket that's going in now. In other words, a lot of people aim for the back of the pocket. You've got to aim for the center of the outer jaw. Or, if you're shooting it from this angle, the 6 in the corner pocket. Look what part of the pocket it's going through. And interesting to know that when people have these shots, let's say you're cutting the 2 down the rail, 90% of the time they miss it by hitting the rail here. Okay? So you do have to aim so it goes through the center of the outer jaw. The same on the 6 ball. 90% of the time they miss the 6 ball by hitting the rail here instead of cutting it enough like that. So you got to know where the pockets are. All right, we do our pre-shot routine. I see my aim point. I've already breathed and relaxed. I visualize the cue ball going. I step into it, do a few warm-up strokes until I'm lasered in. The warm-up strokes are your rehearsal. Notice as I pocket the ball, my cue accelerates through the cue ball, and I don't move until I hear the ball go in the back of the pocket. That's another huge fundamental, because you'll watch a lot of people, especially when they get under pressure, they'll be moving like this before they even complete the stroke. And your chances of making a ball when you're moving as you stroke are fairly slim. Okay, let's do a few more here. You practice that for a while until you get bored. Then we're going to actually go ahead and make a ball. And work with your partner on this. And I know this is a basic shot for a lot of you, but some of you it's going to be challenging as well. But when you're making these balls, get feedback from your partner and notice where the ball misses or what part of the pocket it goes into. Because remember, we're trying to work on your alignment. Okay? So again, as you're standing up above the shot, you breathe and relax. You visualize it going right through that red dot there. You find your aim point. You draw the line all the way back to your eyes. Your eyes are in a perfect position. As you step into the shot, your eyes stay right on that aim point. And you can have some fun with that. That wasn't all that great because I got a little bit to that side. In other words, we're trying to align your body and everything perfectly so you can hit that red line every time. Breathe, visualize, swing down, aim point. There, that was better. And I like the way the cue ball went through. In other words, you're trying to laser in your stroke so you can build your confidence, okay? And after a while, it's going to become second nature. You won't have to think about the breathing part. You won't have to think about visualizing. It's going to be automatic. And the aim point is so important. Find it while you're standing up above the shot. See it all the way back to your eyes. Some people use their cue. Some people use their right toe. Some people use their chin. I don't care what you use, but I found the most important thing is use your eyes and trust your eyes while you're above the shot. Keep your eye right on that as you swing down. And again, if I'm off, let's say I got down like this, I'll stand up and do it all over. And I'll, usually by adjusting your feet, that will get you back in time. There, that will work. And again, wait till the ball hits the back of the pocket and then get up. Now, when you're working with your partner on these drills, make sure your partner stays down. In other words, you're their conscience, okay? You're going to make sure they do it correctly. And again, if you can drill that and do it over and over again, when you get under pressure and you have a good pre-shot routine, you won't get as nervous. Because guess what? Shots will all be routine eventually. When you're able to practice at that level. All right, we're going to make it a little harder now. Let's put the ball back up here. And a lot of you have seen this before, I'm sure. And a lot of people have trouble staying down or accelerating their stroke through the cue ball. So I want you to put a couple of balls with a stick over them like this. This is a lot of fun because it might get frustrating. And again, have fun with this. We're not trying to criticize or judge anybody's skill level. Don't be intimidated at all because there are probably some good players in the class. But on this shot, it's a great way to diagnose flaws. Because if you're moving on the shot, you're going to knock the stick over. Or if you're moving to the left or right as you accelerate through the ball, you're going to touch one of those other balls. So find the aim point, breathe, visualize the shot, swing down, take a few warm-up strokes. Stay down until you hear the ball hit the back of the pocket. And again, you might have some fun with that because it's maybe not as easy as I made it look. Because if you have habits over time where you're used to moving in the shot, this is going to be real challenging. Swing down, take a few warm-up strokes. And I don't care if you stop it, follow it, or draw it. We're not going to do that till next week. There, that was bad. See, I like it when my cue ball stays dead on line. If it moves to the left or right, it means I'm off. And that kind of feedback is important. All right, any questions about the pre-shot routine before we move on? Anything? And I encourage you to watch any great athlete in any sport or game because you're going to notice one thing that is really interesting. They pretty much do the exact same thing at every shot. Watch a good server in tennis, watch Tiger Woods putt in golf or whatever it might be. But once you've got that pre-shot routine down, and those three items that I've mentioned, I guarantee your game will be better and you'll feel less stress and less pressure when you're playing league and things like that. Okay. Now, you notice the shot we just shot was straight in, okay? Now we're gonna get to drill number 4, and we have a couple of cut shots. Now I think, didn't you ask about this, Bob, about the angles, the cut angles and things like that?
Yeah.
Well, the only difference with a cut shot is that a lot of times as part of your pre-shot routine, you're going to get dead behind the 5 ball to see exactly where on the 5 ball you have to hit it. And I can see from here that the contact point is right here, okay, to make the 5 in the corner. But guess what? You can't aim at the contact point, can you? If the contact point to make the 5 is here and I aim at that, it's not even going to come close, is it? Now there are a couple of ways to aim these shots, and whichever way works for you is fine. Okay. Now one technique that a lot of people use is they shoot at the center of a ghost ball. Okay. So I'll put that 7 there, and so when I'm aiming to make the 5, I can imagine a ghost ball there, and make the ball that way. But I don't like that technique, because a lot of people have a hard time seeing the ghost ball, okay? And you've probably heard of that before. I think there's actually a better and more simple way to do it than that. Now for me, I'll get right behind the 5, I'll see my contact point. Now what I do when I'm missing shots like this, I simply will use the left edge of my cue to be on the contact point through the cue ball. It's not a perfect aiming system, but it's really, really accurate, and it gets you very close. So again, breathe and relax, visualize the shot, see my line, swing down, and the left edge of my cue is right on that contact point. That's
What do you
now,
mean
did you
the left
understand
end?
that?
What? No, I don't.
All right. Let me explain that again.
Pete,
Yeah, go ahead.
if you put the cue ball at the 7 where the contact point, it might be easier a visual.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like,
Just place it on the 7 ball where it's supposed to hit.
see how the contact point is right here. The left edge of my ferrule going through the cue ball, that's the aim point. In other words, I see the contact point right here, but since I'm cutting it to the left, I use the left edge of my cue, like that. See how that works? Because that might be a little bit
If we do a step back, how
Yeah.
do you figure out where the contact?
All right, I get behind the 7. That's part of my pre-shot routine. And I see the contact point right there. Yeah. Now, as I walk back, I keep my eye on that contact point. And I'm only hitting a center ball. I'm going directly through the center of the cue ball. But you'll notice the left edge of my cue or ferrule, whatever you want to call it, extends all the way through to the contact point.
While the center of the cue tip itself is through the center of the cue.
Right. Now, what a lot of people do, and this is the incorrect way to do it, is they'll see the contact point and say, well, that's where I need to aim. And what they'll do is unconsciously swerve their cue down to make it cut enough. All right? But with this aiming system, I'm simply going to see where my contact point is, but since I'm cutting it to the left, I'll use the left edge of my cue. Now, by the same token, if I'm cutting it to the right, here's my contact point. Which side of the cue do I use now? Right side, yeah. And trust me, it's almost perfectly accurate. It's not perfect, but it's close. When you get to real thin cuts, it breaks down. Okay. But on most cut shots, if I simply see my contact point, align directly to the center of the cue ball, all I have to do is have that right edge of this shot on the contact point. Anyway.
So you're trying to determine that before you get down?
Yes. In fact,
Okay.
all the hard work is done while you're above the shot. If you're doing that after you get down, you're in trouble.
So you're looking at the ball and adjusting yourself to be
While
more
I'm-
on the
while-
edge
Yeah. yeah.
than
Actually,
the
I'm
contact.
doing that from here. I've already determined the contact point, so I'm walking back, keeping my eye on it. Now as I'm setting my cue down, the left edge of my barrel is right on the contact, like that. And you know what? This is going to get you thinking a little too much at first, and it might mess you up.
That's good.
But it'll at least get you in the zip code as far as how to aim cut shots. And after a while, you won't think about any of it at all. It'll be so automatic. They call that automatic aiming. Like after 60 years of playing pool, I don't think about anything when I play anymore because it's automatic. I've locked in just through drills and playing and experience to the point where I don't have to analyze. I don't have to think about anything anymore. To me, the key, once you're able to have correct alignment, is to be able to visualize. Just see the shot. See the shot in your mind's eye, and your body, like a computer, will do what it needs to do. But if you start obsessing, oh, I got to get my arm like this, I got to stroke it like that, I have to, that'll create a lot of havoc in the game. Because you can't play pool and think about 4 or 5 things at once.
What is the angle that you set that one up?
When you get a real thin, it breaks down. Real thin, like this shot. But anyone in this area, it works great. It doesn't really matter. One more time. Contact point. Keep my eye on it as I get back. Visualize the shot. Swing down, and my lay the left edge of the cue on that contact point. Okay? We don't need to put that up anymore, sorry. Yeah, I'm working you too hard, Niall. Okay. Any questions about that? All right.
No, I want to try it.
All right, I think you'll find it beneficial. Now, one last thing I want to do today, and I think we'll do the bridges and stuff for next time or anything about equipment. But I wanted to set up one scenario now. And you get an opportunity to solve this problem, okay? Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
Up to what degree we can use this system?
All right.
When
You
I
can do
get
3/4, half, and a quarter. Anything less than a quarter ball hit, like there, it breaks down because you have to cut it more. Yeah. Okay, on this particular example, this is 8 ball, okay? And what I'd like you to do is imagine that solids is just scratched, okay? And in this particular situation, we're going to get ball in hand, and we actually have the strikes. So which ball do we shoot first? We're playing 8 ball in league. And this could be an interesting scenario. I was thinking about this for a couple days. I thought ball in hand is huge when you start playing tournaments and league because you need to know not just making the simplest shot is always the best shot.
12 ball, that's your problem.
That's the problem.
I agree.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh, you got it.
Another way I always look at it, where the 8-ball's at, where do I want that cue ball to end up when I'm done?
Right.
Go from the 8-ball and work backwards.
Exactly, yeah. And, you know, try to imagine having to shoot that 12 ball later in a rack.
Yeah.
You'd be in deep trouble. Absolutely correct. The proper shot here, and what I see a lot when I watch league and stuff is people will take the simplest and easiest shots first. And this is not necessarily that simple. But what I want to do here is I would like to get rid of the 12 and 13th right away, because later on those will be big problems. So I think, you know, the ideal situation would be to, you know, take a little draw on the 12 like this, and then play the 13. And like Chuck said, is crucially important. What ball would be my key ball now on the table? I've already determined it, but which one is the key ball to get to the 8? 14. Right. So really I've got stop shot here, stop shot there, pretty much a stop shot there. With an angle I can bring it down. So that's the kind of way you think when you're playing 8-ball. So I just want to just draw back a little bit here. See, I got a real nice angle. Now all I have to do is roll it and right down to the right like that, which is kind of nice. And you notice the tangent line, which we'll talk about more later, is there. But since I'm rolling the ball, it should come a little bit right of the chalk. And you'll learn more about that as we progress in the class. Notice how that rolling ball made it come down instead of straight across if I stunned it. Anyway, that's the kind of thing I want to do in each class, is set up, you know, scenarios like this, so you get a feel for how to strategize when you're playing pool. And ball in hand is a great drill. In fact, one of the things I like to do when I'm at home on my home table is I might throw a bunch of balls on the table. See, I've got 6 solids and an 8 ball. I'll just throw them on the table like that. And I'll practice ball in hand. It's a really good drill. You know, just learning how to get to a rack. But a lot of times it's better to start out with just 2 or 3 balls like that and work through it, then add a ball and then add another ball and that kind of thing. Sure?
Every time.
Yeah. All right, any questions? One of the things that I've really noticed lately is, boy, Prescott is really on the pool map now, aren't we?
Yes.
Have you noticed that?
Since you went down to Tucson and became state champion.
Yeah,
Well,
this guy right here.
They won the state championship. But think about all that we've got going on with Brian and tournaments and leagues, and it's an incredible amount of good stuff going on. Yeah. We even got a Hall of Famer here now, too. I'm kidding. All right, so let's go ahead and pair up. We've got 2 bar tables over here and 5 pool tables along there. Those are all, everything's opened up on the bar boxes. If you would prefer that, go ahead. But go ahead and pair up with somebody of about equal ability. And I know Chuck and I will be coming around to help you out as much as we can, answer questions, and go around. But work on your pre-shot routine, work on your cut shots. But I'd like you to practice just getting up and down for a while first, to make sure when you get down on the shot, you're not having to move one way or the other. You want to learn how to get down on the shot correctly each time, just by repetition like that. And then once you've got that down, then start popping the balls. Anyway, have at it.
Who's been playing for like 3 months?